Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you to recap a huge win on Sunday Night Football for the San Francisco 49ers to push their record to 5-4 as they come out of the bye week and enter the home stretch and started off with a bang. A much-needed victory considering what happened in this division on Sunday in NFL Week 10. Final score, 22-16 in a game that started off bad. It was certainly ugly for San Francisco. There were turnovers. There was a blocked punt. There were costly penalties. But in the second half, I thought offensively and defensively, San Francisco able to make a couple of adjustments. And after the Chargers had had a really impressive first half offensively, this Niners defense, which was hyped in the early part of the year as the best in the NFL, then hit a little bit of a lull the last 2 weeks, has certainly returned to form. Justin Herbert tonight, 21-35, 196 with a touchdown and an interception. Austin Eckler, 6 carries for 24 yards. DeAndre Carter had a really good game for the Chargers, 4 catches, 64 yards, and a tutty. But San Francisco continues to own the city of Los Angeles. They pulled off the sweep of the Los Angeles Rams. That was their last dub going into the bye week. Then they come out of the bye week and take down the Chargers. Jimmy Garoppolo, I thought, made a couple of big throws in this football game. 19-28, 240 yards. Really the overarching theme for this Niners offense. They couldn't punch the ball in enough. They settled for 3 instead of 7. That's something that they have to clean up. But the return of Elijah Mitchell was certainly profound and felt for this Niners offense. I thought that the timely play of Brandon Ayuk was really impressive too. This is a guy who's certainly emerging into one of the better go-to wide receivers in the NFL. Brandon Ayuk, folks, is the only person holding himself back from being a great player. He shows the flashes. He has the footwork. He has the route running ability. He'll make some stupid catches that make you say, wow, this guy is a special talent. But then he'll fumble the football like he did. He'll drop the touchdown like he did. But I thought for him to show the mental fortitude to respond and come back and make big plays down the stretch really helped this team at the end of the night. So grade the Niners' performance here on Sunday Night Football. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know. We're live here on YouTube. We're live on Call-In. We'll get to your calls here on Call-In in just a few moments. Let me just get to some of my notes here for this football game. I'll run through these quickly, then we'll start taking your calls because the faithful has so much to say following this win to get the Niners to 5-4. The Chargers had 3 points combined in the previous 4 games in the first quarter. They opened the game with the 75-yard scoring drive, and that's a classic scripted offensive drive where the Chargers have a lot of success. After they got outside of the script, like we've seen with the Niners this year, I thought that they struggled to find a rhythm, and this Niners defense came to play. They generated a little bit of pressure throughout the night on Justin Herbert. They were great against the ground game, but on some of the timely money downs, I thought that the 49ers, after getting thrashed on third downs early in this game, were able to respond. For Kyle Shanahan, it really does drive me nuts how he's so conservative in deciding to punt or go for the field goal once he gets past midfield instead of going for it either for a 4th down conversion or going for it to get a touchdown. Like, he is the most conservative coach in the NFL when it comes to that. When the analytics show and indicate that you should probably go for it in those situations, I love being aggressive, he decides to go the other way. I guess it worked out for him tonight, but I feel as though it's going to cost the Niners at some point. I'm not saying be Brandon Staley aggressive, like going for it deep in your own territory like they did, which ended up allowing the Niners to salt this game away, but I just want to see Kyle Shanahan be a little bit more aggressive. A lot of people want to blame him for the stagnant Niners offense tonight. I kind of disagree. The play calls were there. The execution was not there. For the Niners coming off the bye week, mistakes, mistakes, mistakes. You had the Ayuk fumble. You had some bad penalties. You had the block punt. You had an Ayuk drop in the end zone. Those are the things that cost teams in playoff games. And those are the things that the Niners have to clean up if they want to be proven to be a legit team and contender in the NFC. Make sure you sign up with our sportsbook partner, BetUS, by the way. They're offering a 125% deposit bonus if you head to chatsports.com/49bet and enter the promo code Niners125. You put in $100, you get an additional $125 back. That's $225 to game with to bet on the 49ers to win the NFC West, which I think they're going to be able to do because the Seattle Seahawks started the game overseas losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is going to be a dogfight the rest of the season to win the NFC West. And if you win the division, you get to host a playoff game. That's huge for this team. And then the Rams and the Cardinals met up in a game that featured backup quarterbacks for both teams. And the 49ers now go to Mexico City, where the town is going to be painted red with Niner faithful scarlet red going up against a banged-up Arizona team to string together yet another win. Jauan Jennings, had to talk about him here on our postgame show. All the guy does is just make big plays. And it's pretty funny, right? Because the Niners trade for Christian McCaffrey. They have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, who had another big game. George Kittle basically didn't do anything. You have all these great weapons, right? And Jauan Jennings was the guy tonight and last year on some of those money downs, 3rd and 4th downs, who comes through with these huge catches. And it's not just like he's schemed open, right? Jauan Jennings at points has made guys miss. He's been in the right spot at the right time. He's been a sure-handed guy. There was that 1 3rd down conversion in which he made a guy miss, picked up the 1st down. The fact that you have all these elite playmakers, and tonight it was Jauan Jennings being that guy, he's just really a clutch football player. For Elijah Mitchell, the 49ers certainly felt his impact. He was a better runner than Christian McCaffrey tonight. More decisive, had a better grasp of this offense, and Elijah Mitchell is a guy who was drafted last year in the 5th round, was top 5 in rushing yards per game among all running backs in the NFL. Week 1, his impact was seen against the Chicago Bears, and once he was out, I thought that offense just changed with Trey Lance, and the Niners have missed him because anytime he seems to be bottled up in the backfield or a play is not going to go anywhere, like Elijah Mitchell is able to turn garbage into gold, and he's just so decisive in the way that he runs. So a lot of people throughout our watch party were saying, where's Christian McCaffrey? Where's Christian McCaffrey? Elijah Mitchell was the better back, and then Christian McCaffrey got his and did have a big touchdown late. The McCaffrey creativity, something else that I do want to talk about, because when McCaffrey was traded to the Niners, I looked forward to seeing what Kyle Shanahan could do with McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel in the backfield. There were 2 plays that stood out where Garoppolo was in the shotgun, McCaffrey was to the right of Garoppolo, Deebo to the left. One time it was a run that went for a 1st down to Deebo, working off that left side of Garoppolo. Both times, though, on both those plays that I'm talking about, McCaffrey went in motion on a wheel route. The one time he was used as a decoy. The second time, Shanahan knew defense was going to be looking out for it. He went out for a wheel route, and it went for a big play through the aerial attack, and that's what McCaffrey adds to this offense. Even when he's not getting touches, the defense has to account for him. I thought that Jimmy G made some really big throws tonight. What's odd, the Niners are 10-2 when he doesn't throw a touchdown. It's just a weird stat, kind of an indictment on Jimmy G, but he also didn't throw an interception tonight, which was huge. And let's just talk about this Dre Greenlaw ejection. I had posted a video on my Twitter page explaining my thoughts. Yes, it was shoulder/helmet-to-helmet contact, right? And there should have been a penalty called. It should not result in an ejection because what everybody missed there is that Jimmy Ward hit Justin Herbert, who, by the way, was a ball carrier on that play. He hit Justin Herbert, which changed his direction, which made him go in to Dre Greenlaw, which then caused that contact to the helmet. So the NFL, of course, is trying to make the game safer. They're trying to protect quarterbacks. But when you have a look at the replay there, and that's a play that gave the Chargers an opportunity to put 3 points on the board, it ejected a great Niners defender. Once they see that replay of Jimmy Ward hitting Justin Herbert and then causing the helmet contact, they should be able to reverse the call, and Dre Greenlaw should not have been ejected from this football game. For those of you still watching on YouTube, Get those super chats in. Get those comments in. We're going to stay live for a while. $770 in super chats. We got to at least get to $800. And for those of you listening on call-in, I'm about to start taking your calls. So we're going to start off with Evan. You are our first caller right here on the Niners Report. Welcome to the show, Evan. How you doing tonight?
Hello?
What's up, Evan?
Not much. First off, I don't know if you heard this in chat, but did you get my package?
I did not yet, but I'm looking out for it, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, and also the 49ers, without Jason Verrett, it really hurts them. Like always, are you going to try out Malcolm Butler, or do you think they're good on depth?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do following the Jason Verrett injury, and I appreciate the call, Evan. It's so unfortunate what happened to Verrett. Like, the guy just has not been able to stay healthy throughout his career. He's been snake bitten by injuries. This is a guy who, when healthy, was a second-team All-Pro, a Pro Bowler in 2020. I thought he played really good football for San Francisco going into last year. He was the number one cornerback on this roster, tears his ACL in Week 1. Then when he's about to come back, non-contact injury, tears his Achilles. I think it would be wise for the 49ers to work out cornerbacks, to look to sign. I thought that Deommodore Lenoir played solid football tonight. Mooney Ward has been one of the better free agent pickups. Jimmy Ward playing nickel corner has helped this team a lot. But from a depth perspective, Evan, I certainly would be concerned in that regard. Let's go to Draco. Going to make you the next caller. Draco, what's good, my bro?
Man, hey, it was, like I said, it was a good game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was bad, it was good, and it was bad. It was all over the place.
Yeah, because when we did bad, but when we did good, we did really good. But I know Mike McGlinchey got his ass whooped a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I noticed a lot of the bad plays came when Mike McGlinchey got his ass whooped that lot. But you know, they had good players, so I can't even knock them. Khalil Mack is somebody hard to hold. I guess that Speedy DB they had linebacker that was doing all the good plays too. I forgot his name, Murray.
Yeah.
He was doing
Kenneth
great.
Murray. Yep.
Hufanga for the save. I appreciate that, but you know, we did what we came to do. You know, we did our part. I can't really knock them. You know, we could do better in some parts, and I wish we would have got the air improved a little bit, but we did really good through the air. But it was a lot of drop passes. I can't blame Ayuk for that last one because he literally, like, Derwin James' helmet literally bumped into his whole arm. Everybody ain't going to be able to hold on to that.
Yeah. No, I agree. And Draco, I appreciate the call. Look, Draco, you said the thing about Ayuk, him getting hit by Derwin James legit hit him in the helmet. And that's what caused him to cough the football up. I understand that. What's unfortunate about Ayuk, on the touchdown drop, his route was filthy. Like, it was an out and in little route where his footwork was beautiful. He just dropped the football, which was right here, good placement from Jimmy G. That can't happen if he wants to be considered one of the better wide receivers out there, which he has the talent to be. I also want to talk about this from Draco, and I meant to put this in my postgame notes. Mike McGlinchey is a problem, okay? John Lynch can go to the local media as much as he wants, like he did this past week, and try to convince us that Mike McGlinchey is the victim of social media and that Mike McGlinchey is actually playing better than what we think, that Mike McGlinchey gets picked apart because of all the negative plays. Well, John Lynch, you're disrespecting the fan base when you say something like that. The fan base is one of the smartest in all of sports worldwide. We see continuous clip after clip of Mike McGlinchey getting beat, him having bad body language, him not picking his teammates up, him committing these penalties that come at inopportune times. These things can't happen from a top 10 pick. That's what it comes down to. And that's why Niner fans are very frustrated by Mike McGlinchey, because this guy has not lived up to the billing of being that first-round selection. I don't want to hear John Lynch talking about him being a victim of social media. You're disrespecting the fan base and calling us dumb for that. We see the clips of him struggling. He clearly struggled once again, and when he gets put up against a legitimate pass rusher like Khalil Mack, we saw tonight, he was getting beat time and time again. To YouTube, Niner Dad 86. I'm going to pour another beer for you, my guy, with this $20 super chat. That gets us $10 away from $800. Who's going to get us to $800 out there? Let's go, faithful. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Love that comeback from behind. You're the man, Chase. How do you see the rest of the season? Look, going into the year, I called the Niners a 10-win team. They have an opportunity to win 10 or 11 games, win this division, and host a home playoff game. That should be the expectation. And that's what the 49ers should be able to accomplish. They go on the road to Mexico City, which is a quote-unquote road game against a team in the Cardinals that's down, that's injured, that knows that they are cooked, and they have a home game when Niner fans in Mexico City are going to take over the crib. So I'm not buying into that at all. And Niner Dad, I appreciate that $20 super chat. I am going to pour another beer here into the Niners mug, and I'm going to take some more callers here on the call-in. David Mills, going to make you the next caller. What's up, David?
Hey, Chase, once again, thank you for what you do, giving us Empire guys a outlet to speak and discuss the good and the bad, first of all. I just want to quickly say Jimmy had a good game tonight. He looked very confident like last week, standing in the pocket. The protection, it wasn't the greatest, but he was not looking timid like we see Jimmy a lot throughout seasons, you know what I mean? And Jawan Jennings coming through, being his safety net. We look like we can, once we get all the mistakes and the errors down and, the penalties, I think we're going to be a team to look out for sure. As far as the NFC goes, I'm thinking about of course, the Eagles, the Vikings, and I can't count out Tom. I really think as far as once we get everything buttoned down, I think we can really go far, man. And it feels I'm going to sleep a little bit better tonight knowing this Niners pulled out a win. It wasn't the best one. Like bro said, it was an ugly, but it was bad, but a good win. You know what I mean? So, yeah, thank you, Chase. I appreciate everything you do on here. Listen to you every day. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Bang, bang, Niner gang. That's a great call right there from David Mills. And let's touch on a couple of things that he had to mention here on the show. NFC teams. I think, and I've continued to say this, it's the 49ers and the Eagles on a collision course for an NFC championship game. I think from a roster construction standpoint, these are the two best teams in the NFC. When it comes down to the Minnesota Vikings, I'm not buying into them because I've never seen Kirk Cousins win a game in a big spot. A lot of people want to say, well, he did that today against the Buffalo Bills. Good win in the noontime slot. And Kirk Cousins played pretty well. But until I see him come through in the biggest of moments, I'm not going to buy into it. I'm just not. Philadelphia Eagles and the 49ers are the two best teams in the NFC. I don't think it's close. We saw the Dallas Cowboys once again choke against the Green Bay Packers, and then there's a massive gap to any other team in the NFC. In the NFC West, the Seahawks have had the Niners' number, but when the Seahawks have played two legitimate teams this year, Tampa Bay Bucks, San Francisco 49ers, they've gotten blown out in both of those matchups. This is the Niners' division to lose, and the 49ers should be able to go on a nice little run here. More Super Chats coming in on YouTube. We got past $800. Greatly appreciate all of that. P, we need to tighten up. Players came back from injury, so I understand some rust playing all together again, but I give us a C+. Let's drink, though, regardless. Been drinking tequila since the second half. P, beer cheers for you. And Niner Dad got us to 800 officially. Cheers, bro. There you go. Thank you for what you do. No, thanks to all of you who make what I do possible. Let's take some more calls here on our post-game show. Mark Valencia, our guy, words of wisdom. What's up, Mark?
Hey, what's up, Chase? Great win, man. Great show as always.
Thank you,
a couple of points and then a last comment. So, where is the passing game, bro? Look, just hear me out. I know we're trying to establish the run and all that, But we need to inject some more passing as a threat, man. Some quick slants, some comebacks. Tonight, dude, if it wasn't for Juwan Jennings, I think it was 3 passes that guy was clutch. If it wasn't for him, I just don't see us winning the game tonight. I get that we're still formulating a different offense now that we got McCaffrey and all that. But dude, Kittle and Deebo. I mean, I seen a graphic tonight. They were bragging about Kittle, Deebo, um, McCaffrey. They got all these weapons, and it's like, okay, I get. I've been giving Shanahan a lot of grief on play calling, but talent, they got to step up. You got that talent. You guys, it's like, as much as I give Shanahan a bad time, it's like someone needs to kick these guys in the ass and be like, hey, man, we're going to go on a run now. We need Kittle to step up. I kind of see, I don't know if you remember a few years back when Vernon Davis got slapped hard by, I think it was Bobby Wagner. He wasn't the same after that. I don't know what has happened to Kittle, man, but that dude has pretty much disappeared. Other than a couple times, he'll show up a couple times. I don't know what's going on with that. The second point is this: where is the consistent pass rush over the last few games? Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, tonight they were there. They batted that pass down. Hufanga got it, but I don't see a consistent pass rush, man. That they need to make a playoff run. D'Amico, he's called a couple clutch blitzes, a la Fred Warner. They need to do that more often because I just don't see them getting to the quarterback. They got to do it. There's too much time. I looked at the film again right now, man. Herbert was back there for a long time, and that speaks more to our secondary shutting down the passing game. Thank God. But they ain't getting outside of Bosa and Warner. Who else have you seen behind there, taking down the quarterback? Lastly, man, I just wanted to thank you for all your support, dude. On my boy Michael, my wife and I just wanted to give you thanks. My other kids too. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, man. Not many people would do what you did, and I just wanted to thank you, brother.
Of course, brother. Hey, it's always love, man, and this is why I love doing this show, because we get to hear really thoughtful analysis and takeaways from our audience, but also we just get to chop it up. And of course, man, like anything I can do to help out your family, I'm always going to do it. Our platform here is pretty special to be able to help you guys out. So let's get to what you had said. George Kittle, I understand. I think that when he is more involved in this offense, the offense is just better and more dangerous. Did he even catch a pass tonight? I'm not even sure. The one that he was targeted on and caught, it wasn't even complete. Now, he is utilized a lot as a blocker, which is to his detriment as a pass catcher because he is so good in that area. But you're right. I don't think that George Kittle is washed. I just don't think, frankly, he's utilized enough. From your comment of where is the consistency from this offense, they should be more consistent. They should be. Part of that is play calling. Part of that is coaching. We saw tonight bad penalties. There was the fumble from Ayuk. There was the drop touchdown from Ayuk. And if you clean up a couple of those mistakes, I think you see a different offense and a more consistent offense. What I do like is that outside early in the year of that opening script, the Niners offense didn't do anything in the second half. Last 2 weeks, they started to make plays and put points on the board and come through with clutch drives in the second half. To the defense, good adjustments made throughout the day. Early on, Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense, they were burning the Niners on third down. There wasn't much of a pass rush. The pass rush started to get home a little bit later. One guy who you didn't mention, Mark, is Charles Omenihu, who's earning himself a bag. He is a byproduct of Chris Kocurek developing the hell out of defensive linemen. This is a guy who was drafted out of Texas, went to the Houston Texans, was a good athlete there. He has turned into a legitimate pass rusher who, from defensive tackle and edge rusher, can get home. Drake Jackson had a pass breakup tonight. Nick Bosa is otherworldly. The pass rush is interesting because it's hard to get pressure all the time. But if you get Javon Kinlaw and Eric Armstead back and Samson Ebukam, does the pass rush become a little bit more consistent? If you get healthier there, hopefully the Niners are able to perform just a little bit better. Let's go to L.A. now. L.A. making you the next caller here on the show. What's up, L.A.?
What's going on, Chase? How you doing?
Doing great, man. Even better that you called in.
Right on, man. Well, yeah, I'm very excited about the win. And, obviously, it's a great win, but to reiterate kind of some of the other sentiments of the other callers, a lot of the Chargers team was really decimated, and they had more injuries in the game. So, it's kind of tough to, stack up with the rest of the good teams out there. And, really, this could have got away from us. But, it was really good that we got this win. And, Charles Omenihu, it looked like he went down. But, he stayed healthy. He looked like he came back in the game, which I'm really excited about. And it doesn't look like we got too many more injuries. But also, I'm really, watching football for the rest of the games today. I just wanted to see if I can challenge other people to think about, what Trey Lance could look like if he develops like Justin Fields today. You know, he looked like he took it to another level, and I can only imagine if Trey Lance develops, what this team could really look like. I kind of saw it today, what it can look like with Justin Fields.
Dude, I totally agree, and really appreciate the call, LA. Justin Fields is the perfect example of what happens when a quarterback is given some time to develop, prosper, succeed with more game experience and more game reps. If only Trey Lance was able to get that level of experience, I think that he would be showing some of the qualities and some of the strides that Justin Fields has taken. Going into this week, Justin Fields had put together 5 consecutive weeks of a passer rating of more than 100. And today against the Lions, yes, they lost. Yes, he threw a pick. Yes, he had some struggles. He played really good football. And that's what happens when a young quarterback who needs time to develop is given time to develop. The only thing with Justin Fields, he's afforded that because the Bears are a bad team. Trey Lance had more pressure on him because the 49ers are an elite team with an opportunity to win a Super Bowl and truly go for it all this year. And that's why there was a little bit of a difference between those two guys and why Lance wasn't given that leash. And then, of course, the injury certainly screwed him there. But can you imagine what Trey Lance would look like with the Jimmy Garoppolo game plan? If he's asked to do what Garoppolo does, Trey Lance, no doubt, would have success and probably even more. Let's go to Michael. You're our next caller here on our post-game show, live on YouTube, live on Callin. What's up, Michael?
Yeah, okay, so I'm usually nervous when I get on these calls with you, so I had to script my text, and here it is.
Don't be nervous, man. Shoot away. It's all good.
Because usually I don't get out everything I want to say, but anyway.
I got you.
This game should have never been close at all. Shanahan is too conservative, but then again, I guess he has to be because he has a quarterback like Jimmy G who can't do much as a quarterback. He's extremely limited. How are people saying Jimmy had a good game when he missed more passes than he completed? What I saw, Brandon Ayuk's fumble was anybody could have fumbled that because you catch the ball, you turn around, there's a helmet. Anybody would have dropped that ball.
Yeah.
Let's see. The helmet. Let's see. I was really getting frustrated that the 49ers could not get to the Chargers quarterback early on. I was like, man, I thought we had a good defense. But the 49ers barely beating the Chargers. I don't see them making a deep run in the playoffs right now after, all they got was 22 points. A win is a win, but damn, it was. I want to see blowouts. If we're as good as people say we are, why ain't we blowing teams out? We're barely beating people. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Michael, are you Funky Nitro on YouTube?
Yes, sir.
My man.
That's me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate all of your support of the show, and I appreciate you calling in as well. For Jimmy G, look, all Jimmy G has to do, not make mistakes. Just don't make mistakes. Play clean football, and don't turn the football over, and make the plays that are on the platter for you to make. You have all of these weapons here. Just don't screw it up. And I thought that Jimmy G did a decent job of that today. Look, if he throws that touchdown to Ayuk in which he dropped, is the game a little bit different? I think so. And you also make a good point there, Michael, in saying, why can't the Niners blow teams out? This is why I tell people who aren't impressed with the Philadelphia Eagles why you have to take them as legit contenders. Because do people realize how hard it is to blow out teams in the NFL? A majority of these games are decided by one score or less, yet the Eagles have won 5 of their 8 games by more than one score. And the Niners have really been in like these battles down to the wire. Now, if they clean up a couple of these things, they can improve, they can become more consistent, they can get a little bit better, and then we start talking about them as being a much more legit team. And I have faith that they can make improvements in those areas to tap into their greatness, because we see the greatness in spurts, and that's why a lot of people get frustrated with the 49ers. They see they have all these premier players and how great they can be, yet there are some dumbfounding things and mistakes that they make that hold them back from being like as good as they can. All right, couple more callers to get to. We're going to go to David, Jay, and Michael. My guy, David Corona. What's good, my guy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good to hear from you, man. What do you got?
Man, it's a good win, but we could play a little bit better, you know. But yeah, my homie went to the game tonight, and yeah, he had pretty good seats, and yeah, Mitchell looked pretty good too.
Yeah.
And my landlord said, "Oh, watch, it's gonna be an interception right now. 49ers gonna get the ball and then a win." And right when he said that the 49ers gonna make an interception, I said, "I hope so," and it just did.
Yeah.
He just called it, and I said, "Man," and yeah, we need to play a little bit better. And like right there, we're in the end zone. We should like fake handoff and just like throw the ball, you know, instead of doing handoff, and you know, but at least we won tonight, and I'm happy, and yeah, I won $40 more.
There you go. David Corona is the guy who bets on a lot of these games, and oftentimes he wins because he's a smart football dude. On those goal line plays, David, I'd like to see Garoppolo go out to the right. You limit the field to one side, but also you can layer routes and then give him the opportunity to run, which I think could be better in some of those situations as compared to just running it up the middle. No doubt about that. Elijah Mitchell's impact, like you said, David, it was felt tonight. I mean, anytime the guy gets the ball in his hands, it seems as though it's a positive play, meaning he's always picking up at least 1 yard. It's a really special component about what Elijah Mitchell brings to the table. 2 more callers left to get to. David Mills, and then we're going to go to Jay, then we're going to close out. What's up, David? David, you there? We may have heard from you earlier. So if you're still there, all good. Michael, how about we go to you? What's up, Michael? Michael, you there? There he is. What's good, bro? We got you.
And I was kind of mad about this, that what happened in the second half, actually.
What specifically?
That what happened to Dre Greenlaw.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about that. And Michael, you're the man, dude. I appreciate you for joining the show. What happened with Dre Greenlaw? It's ridiculous how the NFL can take a look at the replay and still make that decision to eject him. I thought Kyle Shanahan put it nicely. I agree with the penalty. I don't agree with the ejection. And I agree with Kyle Shanahan and what he said. Dre Greenlaw did hit Justin Herbert in the helmet. But Justin Herbert's helmet hit Dre Greenlaw because Jimmy Ward had hit him and altered his direction. That's what caused that. And he shouldn't be ejected for that. He led with his shoulder. And then it ended up being something worse, not because of anything that he did. And these nerdy-ass officials have to realize that when Dre Greenlaw is bearing down on an offensive player, moving 110 miles per hour, he can't just go in and then stop. It just can't happen. And the NFL has to realize that. Again, I'm all for player safety. And the NFL, if you're about player safety, then ban some of these shitty-ass turf fields. And I understand trying to keep these quarterbacks healthy, right? But you should be able to make changes to the call based on the replay. And if the broadcast and Terry McCauley are saying, I don't think it should be ejection, then why is it an ejection? That's my problem there. We're going to sign off here on Call-In. We'll stay live here on YouTube. Kick it with us. To all of you who called in, we appreciate it. And we'll catch you next week for another 49ers Report postgame show.